whichever one it may truly be. But the grid for the MSVT Track Day Championship is as follows. Pole position went to the way of 126 Graves Motorsports Luke Reed in his BMW 120. Alongside him, number 14, the McDougals. Second row, 45 Chris Payne, and 68 the Porsche 944 of George and Jack Wright. On the third row is the number 83 Honda of the Higginsons, and alongside them car number 31, which is the first of the BMW Zs, which is the BMW Z4. James Ford will be starting that one. Callum Tuckett will take it over afterwards. Fourth row, 170 Matt Nossiter, and 888 Chris Roberts. Row 5, 86 Peter Jokinen, and 157 Nick White. Sixth row, 12 Johansson and Thompson, and 32 Mayhew and Wiltshire. Seventh row, championship leader number 44 Ray Honeybone, and 5 Dylan Richter. Eighth row, 101 Jamie Jeffrey, and 88 John Cooper. Ninth row, 172 Alf Hyde, and 40 Ray Worley in his Mazda MX-5. 10th row, 28 Tom Oatley, and 23 Dean Hyde. On the 11th row is 38 Glover and Wright, alongside them 25 the Burnhams. 12th row is 37 Will Jackson Moore, 57 Gary Littlewood. 13th row, 77 Jamie Ward, 56 Matt Wright. On the 14th row, 182 Oliver Owen, and 184 James Baker. Row 15, 168 in addition to your digital programme. It's 168 James Janu and 117 Will Arif. 16th row, 193 Jack Uhill and 123 Laurie Ward. On row 17, 131 Alan Lynn and 27 Andrews and Goldthorpe. 18th row, 148 Chris Allen, 199 Marlowe and Quantrill. Row 19, 15 Julian Jeffrey in a BMW Z3 that he's actually in, and 50 Marco Ricky. And on the 20th and final row, 89 Nurga and Walton Spall, and 55 Norris and Wright. 40 cars in, I mean, just amazing.
It's a superb entry, yes. I think it's part, you were mentioning earlier on about the appeal of the Grand Central Grand Prix circuits being something that drivers like to drive on when they get the chance, so that's probably helps with the interest. But both the Track Day Championship, which this is a round of, and the Track Day Trophy, which is not a championship, just a series of races, have every year attracted substantial entries for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, he wants to do it. He sat second in the championship standings with this and one more round to go, with on 65 points compared to 79 for Ray Worley in the 44 car, the white with the Apple Car Centre emblazoned all over it, which is Ray's company. And
Ray Honeybone.
Sorry, I said Worley, didn't I? Sorry, Ray Honeybone, yes, not the MX-5. It's definitely Ray Honeybone in the Apple Car Centre car, number 44, who is down this grid, isn't he, at the end of the day? He's down in 13th place.
On the 7th row, yeah.
Yeah, so Luke Reed's just going to try to disappear off into the distance now. Callum McDougall and Chris Payne in the two Caterhams are not going to make it easy for him, though.
I'm assuming it's Callum who's starting in the car on the front row of the grid, number 14. But they're all rear-wheel drive cars, as is the Porsche, but I think that's going to be... It was certainly Father George who started in qualifying, drove the car first, then son Jack took it over. Where's the first front-wheel drive car on the third row? It's a Seat.
Still waiting. They didn't show up with the lights on here, so normally we've got a red light to watch here.
Which three abreast. A great start by the Porsche, which has got it in front, but then Luke Reed in the BMW uses the inside line to good effect and ensures that he has the lead. The Caterham has dropped down to third place. So it's the Porsche 944 second, BMW Porsche, and then do we have...
James Ford in there, BMW Z4.
Yes, we do. Yes, a very good start by him. He's up to second place now, James Ford, in that BMW.
Luke Reed's run very wide on the exit of Graham Hill Bend in the lead BMW there. He's managed to get it back on, but as you said earlier about other people, they don't want to do that very often.
We're remarkably free from penalties for that now. I'm afraid this is another race where we don't have the benefit of TV out on the circuit, so we have to rely on the such CCTV fixed cameras as we have, which show us the cars heading into Hawthorne now. The
Reed's lost out on. That must have been he made a mistake going out of Surtees, because he's down in something like 4th or 5th. Somebody's going very slowly further back as well.
I think he may have lost momentum from getting so wide coming out of Graham Hill Bend, and that enabled others to bypass going into Surtees. So Luke Reed's good start, yes, but continuing no. And if he's lost the lead, then will he be able to get it back?
The Caterhams really didn't get away as well as I expect there at all, did they?
No, not at all.
So it is James Ford in the Z4 BMW that has taken the lead, number 31, and comfortably at the moment. It's the right Porsche 944 in second place. Then it's the very important one, to be honest with you. Yeah, that either Mark or Matt Higginson, Disclock Racing, they're 4th in the championship standings, still very, very close as well in the championship standings on 61 points. Tied on in 3rd, actually, I should have put. And they're 3rd on the road at the moment, trying to get past the Wrights Porsche. And we've got that dynamic of it changing when we change over drivers yet to come, haven't we?
Indeed we have. At the moment we've got then the BMW Z leading the Porsche 944, and then the Honda Civic, then the BMW of Luke Reed, and then the first of the Caterham. So they may have gone well in qualifying. There's about to be a change there. The Caterham looks on the inside lines. They go into Surtees, but Luke Reed holds it off. Which of the Caterhams is that? That's the Chris Payne car, isn't it? Number 45 in 5th place. And the other Caterham was down in 7th place.
Yeah, they both lost quite a few places, I think even before they got to Graham Hill Bend, amazingly. But look at this, Reed is now trying to get... in fact, that means he's lost out to Payne in the end. So on the exit, that BMW 1 Series seems to struggle on the exit of Surtees, doesn't it?
Yes.
He's lost another place there.
Who's gaining places, who's losing places. We've got 1 or 2 losing, well, the Caterhams we talked about losing places. Somebody making a move up the order is the Tyler Motorsport BMW E30, beautifully turned out car Dean Hyde, which recalls the BMWs in the World Toy Car Championship of years gone by, the European Toy Car Championship. But it's a different sort of BMW that leads the way, and leads the way convincingly. It's the sports car, the Z4, that has a very large lead indeed. And joint second almost over the line.
He's done it. He's got past him. The Honda's managed to do it. The Higginsons dived up the inside nice and cleanly by the time they got to Paddock Hill Bend, and that unsettled the Wrights coming out of it. And look at that, what a great move by 45 Payne. We said he'd not got the start he wanted, but he's making amends at the moment, up into 3rd already. Remember, he'd only just got past Luke Reed as they went out of our sight last time round. He's now got himself up into 3rd, and you almost feel it's only a matter of time before he manages to get past the 83 Honda Civic Type R as well. In fact, he's looking up the inside now at Surtees. Here's the car. Can you see that little Caterham? That's what always worries me, is that they're sort of down below their mirrors.
So 6th then is number 888, which is the Lego Racing Honda Integra of Chris House Roberts. 7th is the front row starting Caterham number 14 of, we think, Callum, maybe Jim, his father, who started the race. 8th is 157. Nick White's Clio, he's well placed in the championship, and currently there is 6th in Class B. And then up into 10th place is car number 170, who qualified in the top 10, the Team Trickle BMW of Matt Nossiter. He's got ahead of the Mayhew Wiltshire, number 32. I think Darren call it a Clio. Yes, it is a Clio.
That's about right, isn't it? Yeah, it does seem to be a weapon of choice.
It's a reliable weapon that may not necessarily be the quickest. But certainly the quickest at the moment is the number 31 BMW Z4 James Ford. Led onto this lap by nearly 3.5 seconds by the end of the lap. Well, it's being chased now by the number 83 Honda Civic Type R of one of the Higginson brothers. The gap stayed much the same, 33.6 seconds. Then Chris Payne in the Caterham. George Wright or Jack Wright, we know not, in the number 68 Porsche. Then Luke Reed still 5th.
Only just, and possibly not any longer, because he's about to be passed by the other Janetta, which is the McDougalls, isn't it? Remember, yeah, number 14, yes. Done it up the inside. Sorry, Cage, what did I say?
Janetta.
Did I? Yes. I think that's because of the addiction from earlier, isn't it? Yes. So yeah, that means Luke Reed now down to, well, that put him down to 6th position and a lot slower than his qualifying time. So about 3 or 4, well, about 4 seconds off of his qualifying time at the moment.
Right, so we've got Dylan Richter moving up now. He's a regular in these races over the years in the Seat TDI, the big bare-headed car, and that is now up into 11th place. Ray Honeybone, 10th in Class B. That's not good for his championship, is it?
No, it means he's lost 2 places on the road in general. From memory, I think it was probably about 1 or 2 in Class B as well. The only good news for him is that Luke Reed is 4th in Class B as well as 6th on the road. So he's almost an unintentional damage limitation to some extent at the moment, isn't it?
In the leading car, they obviously lead the race, I mean, in the championship, the EDS Motorsport engine car. They got 19 points, but that doesn't have
That's a long way down.
That's a long way down, yeah. So they got 26 points.
26.
Which was the 14th.
14th, yeah.
Right, new fastest lap, so he's getting going now. Chris Payne in the Caterham. He's just done the fastest lap of the race at 1:45.635, 3.6 seconds behind. Now, can he catch the Z4 BMW ahead of him? I think he can. BMW coming out of Graham Hill Bend now. That Caterham out is settling into the race. It's taking a Honda Civic with it, but I think they are gradually making some impression. Let's look. Yes, on this lap, sector times, first sector has just gone through. And Chris Payne has done the absolute best first sector on this lap. So he's settling into the race now after his not-so-good start. And it'll be him all the way through, of course. He won't be having to change drivers. And the gap was 3.6. On the first sector alone, he's pulled back 7/10 of a second. So the car's getting into its stride. I thought we'd seen the Caterhams for the day, but obviously they're going to feature in this race as well. That many of them.
Gary Hill, the photographer who normally takes creates the photos, as I accuse him of, has just said he sat at Surtees and the Reed BMW, so Luke Reed in that red 1 Series, has, he thinks, fuel leaking from just in front of the right rear. He's got a photo of it doing that as well, certainly leaking something just in front of the right rear. Thanks for that, Gary. That's intriguing and worrying. So we have to hope that it's not going to be a longer-term issue, but it would explain why he's not at the speed that we saw in qualifying.
Well, there's a new fastest lap to his pursuer, Chris Payne, at 1:44.684. The gap was 3.6. It's now 2 seconds.
Well, Luke Reed's just made up a place past the right Porsche, so he's up into 5th now. He just launched it up the inside in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and it means that I can only assume that stopped, and he's now got the confidence in the handling of that car.
Right, so that is Luke Reed, and just ahead of him, the McDougall Caterham. So the Caterham's are on the rise now because the McDougall Caterham's gone up to 4th place, at 14, ahead of the Porsche, the right Porsche. And also moving into the top 10, moving up in number 170 now. 9th is Matt Nossiter. 10th is Dylan Richter, number 5. In the Seat Ibiza, the diesel Seat Ibiza. And yeah, definitely the Caterhams are coming into their own now because Chris Payne has just done the fastest lap of the race. But now, fastest first sector on this lap is the McDougall car, Callum McDougall.
Yeah, I mean, you think those two were the class of the field in qualifying right until the last lap when Luke Reed was able to put that on pole. And it just looked like they struggled to get off the line, so they probably would have preferred a rolling start by the looks of it. And now they've got themselves in the zone. And yeah, it's a 40-minute race. You don't need to win it on that first corner.
Callum McDougall has just done the absolute best second sector as well on this lap, so he's certainly getting into the race now. And we have a new leader now. We can get down on the inside, but he runs a bit wide going into Clark Curve. And so a change for the lead briefly, but at the end of the lap, it is still the BMW just in front of Chris Payne. And the Caterham's going to get another dive down the inside into the next corner into Paddock Hill Bend. Yeah, he's seen that. He's dropped back behind because there's a car that's being retrieved from the gravel. So he's got the message and has dropped back again to ensure he didn't
That was James Janot. That's the addition to the digital program that's in the gravel there, sadly. So he's just got straight off on his berry.
Right, so
into the pits has come one of the BMWs, and that's Hyde in number 23, sadly. So Dean Hyde in the Tyler Motorsport BMW E30.
Yeah, nice car there. Right, change for third place, going down the inside into Surtees, when Callum McDougall, so he's now taken third place away from the Higginson Honda. And that car has just gained a place as well, and set the fastest lap last time around at 1:43.42. And its pace suggests that he's going to be able to catch the others ahead of it. Because the best lap of anyone else behind is in the 44, so 1:43.4. Very definitely Callum McDougall is now the quickest driver on the track.
He was certainly glued to the back of that quartet when they kept flash through the cameras in the countryside there. So there's every chance that we're going to... I wouldn't be surprised to see two Caterhams first and second when they come back into our view this time around.
Could well be.
The tyre screeching. It is, and James Ford's doing brilliantly in that Z4 then to keep them behind. Wow, he sort of had the slap around the chops when they did get past him. And in fact, the Caterhams were momentarily about to go side by side, but it looked like Payne, number 45, was prepared to push it all the way down. They can't do any moves now because it's still the yellow flags and lights there as the Janot car's being retrieved from the gravel. That's the word, look for it, Dorsey. But this is enabling Luke Reed to actually close in on them, you know.
Yeah, the Caterhams are being Caterhams, aren't they? They're running side by side or nose to tail, and they can't at the moment find a way around the BMW. And of course, right behind them is the Honda Civic, and the other BMW, the one that started from pole position, Luke Reed, is closing up on them as well. So what's happened?
Suddenly, I think that James Ford just made a little mistake going in towards the left hand of Surtees and braked a little bit too late. Both Caterhams have got past him now.
So it's a Caterham 1-2. Chris Payne still ahead, I suppose.
And in fact, they're side by side coming down towards Hawthorns, and I have a suspicion that the 14 car may have it. Can't really tell.
I think so, but it's not easy to see on the screen. Have another look as they go through Westfield.
I think it has, because it looks more red than pink, doesn't it? So that would be the McDougall's number 14 into the lead, 45 Payne in second.
Battle a little bit lower down the top 10 between 170. That's Matt Nossiter, and with him is 157 Nick White, who's I think third in the championship, and also Dylan Brickton is up there with them as well. And number 172 is then far behind them as well, Alf Hyde.
And Alf Hyde is an important person in the championship standings. Where did I clock that he is? He's fifth on 60 points. Remember, it's 60, 61, 61. That's the championship standings at that stage between third and fifth.
It is Callum McDougall then who's got the lead, having worked his way towards the front. He's now taken the lead on that previous lap from Chris Payne, who therefore never actually has had the lead. And the BMW number 31 of James Ford drops down to fourth place. The BMW Z4, Luke Reed is fifth. Sixth is the Porsche with the Wrights. And seventh is number 888, Chris Howes-Roberts.
Ray Honeybone, championship leader, has made up one place there. The 44 car up into 13th, which is 9th in Class B as well.
Yeah, so as you say, he's still a long way down the class order. Well, we can't be far off pit stop time. It's just under 30 minutes to go of this 45-minute race.
It's open. There we go.
Oh, right. Well, that was
Yeah.
a prediction that came to pass. So the pit window now open.
Some of those have got the timing just right. Somebody's dived straight in. That's the number 182 car of Oliver Owen, the Ollie Sport Run Renault Clio Sport 182. Presuming that is for a legitimate pit stop.
Well, yeah, he's a long way down. Normally he goes a bit better than this anyway. He's in the pits, running 7th in Class C.
Although he has just been waved down, so maybe it's an issue for that car, certainly.
Yeah, he's limping down the pit lane so slowly. That's well below the speed limit. leaders through for the 9th time, and they're peeling up into the pits. Most will go with shared car, will go half and half. New improved lap times both for Chris Payne in 2nd place and for James Ford in 3rd place. Looks like they can just hang it out for one more lap before they come in.
It's gone straight down to the lower paddock, and the Seat Leon TDI is belching out the black smoke as he goes up towards Druids at the moment.
Are you suggesting the diesel smoke?
Not according to VW, no. But it's rather off-putting. It's a bit wacky races for the cars behind, I'd imagine, having that spitting out the back. I noticed that the right Porsche has lost contact now with Luke Reed, and in fact is under huge pressure from the red 170 BMW of Nostra. Tried to have a look up the inside and had to change his mind at the very last minute, but certainly showed the intentions there.
Tom Oakley in number 28. I think he was again coming slowly down the pit lane, but I think this is the mandatory stop. As we said, the window is now open. I think it was running in the low 20s. Yes, they're coming in a bit thicker and faster. I think we know from qualifying that Jim McDougall isn't going to be as quick as Callum. Unless he has something special to launch. The lead that occasionally Callum McDougall has over Chris Payne's is only 0.8 of a second last time through.
And Luke Reed is now well and truly on the case, trying to get past the Higginson's Honda Civic up the inside towards Paddock Hill. A bit of a puff of brake smoke there. That was a bit worrying, but he held it brilliantly. And in fairness to the Higginsons there, that looked like they kind of knew that was coming and gave him just enough space so it wasn't going to collect them.
The right Porsche in the pits, the 944 Porsche, the blue car. Now, if that was George to begin with, and Jack takes over, Jack is a bit quicker, I think, than his dad. So that Porsche may regain some lost ground. But good battle going on here for 4th and 5th places still between the two red cars, the BMW ahead of the Honda Civic Type R, just turning through Surtees.
And that's an important move for Luke Reed in the 126 BMW 1 Series, because getting past the Higginson's Civic, that is a class battle. So now up into 2nd in Class B goes Luke Reed. And remember, he sits 2nd in the overall championship standings at the moment to Ray Honeybone, who Ray Honeybone's up to 7th in Class B now.
Something steaming.
That's the TDI Seat Leon, sadly. So
well, that's just smoke if it's going to do anything. But
that's white now, isn't it? Rather than the black smoke from earlier, and water on the pit lane I see as well.
Oh yes. Both Caterhams lapping quicker than they have earlier as they fight for the lead, which will have to be broken off soon because they'll need to come and make their pit stops. Come then to complete 11 laps, and it continues to be Callum McDougall leading from Chris Payne, and in 3rd place is the BMW in?
No, the Honda Civic is. So in comes the 83 car, the Higginsons.
Luke Reed up into 3rd place, so that BMW's that number 126, the 130i, is now 3rd. Dropping down to 4th has gone number 31, James Ford. And up to 5th place, admittedly helped to some extent by pit stops, but nonetheless going better and better than the team trickle. E36 BMW Matt Noster, that is now running 5th. And 6th is number 888, Chris Howes-Roberts. Alf Hyde is 7th at 172. Ray Honeybone, hooray, is in the top 10 for the moment, number 44. 9th is number 32. Mayhew, Earl Wiltshire, and 10th is Pete Jokin at number 86 in his Mini.
Definitely thick and fast in the pit stops now, isn't it? Ray Crawley's in as well, number 40. His MX-5. Meanwhile, on the screen we have the start of the GT Cup race going on. Yeah, the number 83 Discot Racing Honda Civic Type R Mark or Matt Higginson. They'll be swapping drivers. They are joint third in the championship standings at the moment, joint with Nick White in the 157 Asset Advantage car. Where is 157? Down in 22nd and 5th in Class C at the moment.
It's pit stop.
Ah, okay, that's good. Well, it's in the pits at the minute, actually, isn't it? So yes, it's.
So the Caterhams carry on. But is Luke Reed coming in? He carries on as well in third place. And fourth is the early leader, James Ford, with the BMW Z4, about fourth. So we've got 23 minutes remaining.
Rossiter's in from fourth place, the 170 BMW.
Which elevates the number 888 of Chris House Roberts up to 5th place. Alf Hyde following him, and then Ray Halliburton up to 7th place. From recollection of these races, Ray Halliburton tends to be a late stopper.
Okay.
He gets to stop towards the end of the window. There's still quite a few that need to stop. And it's only after everyone is stopped, obviously, that we'll have a clearer impression of how the race is going. And when we know what Jim McDougall's lap time is going to be like in the leading car. Certainly on the race of qualifying, he is going to be a bit slower. So Chris Payne is looking to be well placed to win this. Assuming, that is, that they do change drivers in number 14. There's the Porsche through now. Where's that? There's Jack, if I assume it's Jack Wright who's taken over his dad. It's in 24th place at the moment, the number 68 Porsche, but obviously it's pretty well placed stopper. Still, the Caterhams continue up front. Now nearly 10 seconds clear of Luke Reed's BMW. So one Caterham in, isn't it? Yes, Callum McDougall is in. Chris Payne is staying out. So it's 45 Chris Payne who leads. And Callum McDougall at 14 is in the pits. I think we'll find his pit down this end. It is underneath. Yeah, directly underneath us. This means you get most of your speed limits restricted time in the pit lane out of the way, and you can almost accelerate straight back into the race at full speed. Right, so we've had the first three through. Payne, Reed, both staying out, and Ford, number 31, they're the leading three cars. Alf Hyde has come up to fourth place now.
Although I've got a horrible feeling he's going to get the meatball flag before long, because if you look, his bonnet is bowing in the middle there, and I can't believe that that's going to be deemed as safe. Just coming down towards Graham Hill Bend as we speak, as he gets back on the power. I don't know, maybe it's a design on it. I just can't see it close enough here, but I've never seen that before.
No.
It's certainly bowing.
Second, Chris Payne to Luke Reed continues to be just under 10 seconds, 9.6. Last time through at 5 seconds between Luke Reed and the James Ford BMW. Alf Hyde fourth. Fifth is the Mayhew Wiltshire, number 32. Cleo. And 6 is Ray Halliburton. First seconds come down slightly. Chris Payne to Luke Reed to 8.3 seconds.
It might be a design bizarre, I don't know, 172, because it sort of goes to a point on it, it's very odd.
Well, Ray Halliburton right up behind it. The Alf Hyde with the Boeing bonnet. 7th place. Just got back into the race. Is Porsche going? So in 16th place. Looking pretty quick. There's only about half a dozen cars now which have not made their boundary pit stop. Yeah, that's the leading 6 cars. Chris Payne's come in. What about Luke Reed? Yes, he's in. I think everybody else will be making their stop this time.
No, James Ford's carried on, interestingly.
Right, okay.
Z4's still going.
Well, that now leads the race on the road. Presumably because he is significantly quicker than Callum Tuckett.
Yes, from memory.
Otherwise, they'd be going half and half. We've got just under 18 minutes to go.
Right, the Hyde 172 Clio is in with the bonnet that concerns me.
And Ray Honeybone carries on, so he's now second. But as I said, he has a habit of being a late stopper. He's done more races than most of this time, the track day championship races.
They've got away with that completely with the bonnet, in the fact they are just taping it up now, and normally that's brought the meatball flag out, so they've got away with that completely, haven't they? Well done, guys.
McDougall's Caterham now up into 7th place. Still has the fastest lap. We need another lap to be a true representative of what he can do now. In the hands of the second driver. Yeah, the only 2 cars that have yet to stop are the ones in the first and second places, the 31 BMW Z4 and the Clio number 44 Ray Honeybone. Chris Payne. Is he out of the car?
No, still in
Still
there.
in, right, okay. So Chris Payne should be rejoining very soon.
Here comes James Ford, presumably he's going to come in. Yeah, the indicator's on, and in he comes. It's red the light, isn't it?
Oh, it's a short
Indicated as well.
Why have you got to use it?
We're a signal maneuver. And presumably we're going to see Ray Honeybone come in as well, and then that'll be everybody.
Well, that's the master plan. Enable him to squeeze out one more lap so he can actually lead over the line.
I've just noticed we've got a car stopped on the grass in the middle over there as well. 77.
Oh, the exit of Clearway. Oh, goes to Clearway. 77.
Ward.
Yeah, Jamie Ward's Fiesta. And Ray Honeybone has carried on, so he will lead for a lap. And has Chris Payne rejoined? I think he has, hasn't he?
Yeah, just.
Yeah. And so has Luke Reed. So where are they relative to each other on the track?
They're line astern, and they are ahead of the McDougalls, because the McDougalls just gone down and now back up the hill. So it's Payne's in the lead with Reed in second.
So this is going to become the battle for the lead next time around, I think. Oh yeah, subject to Ray Honeybone.
And obviously subject to where James Ford comes out of the pits when they get back round.
His co-driver.
But the McDougal car has actually lost a reasonable amount of ground to those guys, hasn't it?
Well, that bears out what I saw we saw in qualifying, which is Jim McDougall is a few seconds a lap slower.
Okay. So James Ford has jumped out of that 31 car after a fantastic opening stint. Having led that race for a while. And Callum Tuckett now jumping in.
So Payne and Reed are the 2 to keep an eye on, the number 45 Caterham and the 126 BMW. I think the race to finish is between those 2.
Here comes Ray Honeybone. Are we going to see him come in this time? Looks like it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in. Just as well, because it now says pit window closed, so presumably...
Well, he's
you
late.
can't see. Well, some of them do it where you, as long as you don't see it, but I don't know definitively on this
Yeah,
one.
maybe he'll get away with that. Right, there they are, the 2 cars that go through left his pit stop so late in the window. He's shown as being the leader, but effectively the leaders now on the road are the number 45 Caterham and the 126 BMW, and they were separated by 0.6 of a second as they went through. So that's the battle for the lead. They're coming down into Graham Hill Bend now. We've got 13.5 minutes to go. Can the BMW live with the Caterham? I suspect not, actually. Which isn't to say it's going to be driven well. I think Luke Reed will do a good job, but I think the combination of Chris Payne and the Caterham will give it the advantage. But it's close at the moment, between 45 and 126.
And this is a legitimate fight here. 170 and 83. So Nossiter in the red BMW and the 83 Higginsons in the Honda Civic Type R. Now that Disc Lock Racing is third in the championship, don't forget. So they would prefer to be fighting their way a little bit higher up. But that's for the fight between 6th and 7th. And Nossiter's just managed to sneak up into 6th there.
Yes, he's been somebody who's coming increasingly into the picture as the race has gone on. He was doing so before the pit stops. Now everybody has made their pit stop. Next time through, the Caterham, number 45, will take the lead. But it's not getting away, is it? The BMW, Luke Reed is staying in touch. So those two cars then, in the first two places, separated by 0.3 of a second. And the rest of the race, the story of the rest of the race for them is going to be negotiating slower cars, which they'll be doing several times a lap. Through Druids, Chris Payne down Graham Hill into Graham Hill Bend. Luke Reed staying in touch. Got a clear run for the moment. They'll catch some more cars on the Grand Prix loop, I think. Just having a little fiesta there.
Ray Honeybone's going out and wants to keep ahead of these guys here, but he's not going to, so he's going to drop in behind the 888 car, so that's going to put him down in 9th position.
Yeah, well, that's where he was before the pit stop started, wasn't it? Right, so we've identified the top two, numbers 45 and 126. They'll be contesting the lead. Third is the other Caterham, number 14, Jim McDougall. We think now at the wheel. He's 15.7 seconds behind the lead battle and 4.4 seconds ahead of the 31 BMW, which James Ford has now handed over to Callum Tuckett.
Nossiter's going to get up into third, you know. Absolutely flying. He's closing in on Callum Tuckett in that Z4 at the moment. And the McDougall cars are not that far ahead of them.
Reserve judgment on one more lap for Callum Tuckett to see what his pace is, but I don't think it's going to be like Callum McDougall's. But like James Ford, I mean.
Look at this, the lead battle coming across the line. Luke Reed is going to make the move now, surely. He's been forced towards the outside. He's stuck behind him for as long as he could to see if there was any chance of finding a gap up the inside, but Payne was not having any of that. Hugged that inside line, but the switcheroo comes off. Luke Reed dives up the inside, up towards Druids. Remember, Luke Reed did actually manage to put it on pole on the last lap of qualifying to just out-qualify his front row starting compadre, but it's taken him this long to get himself back up ahead of him, and he's done it, but it doesn't feel like his story over yet, does it?
No, absolutely not. BMW just in front as they head into Surtees. Chris Payne has won these races in the past, so he's not unaccustomed to being in a position. Luke Reed is a race winner as well, so those two battling over first place and Class B as well, come to that. And Jim McDougall in third place, his lap time is 1:49, so he's lapping slightly slower, about a second lap slower than number 170, which is Matt Nossiter, who I think, as Chris suggested, he's on course for the top three finish for third place. Jack Wright is moving up, the Porsche moving up now, number 68, 7th. And his lap time is looking pretty good. In the 46s, in fact, it's lapping quicker than anything except the two leaders. This last time around, Jack Wright into 46.8, and apart from the top two, there's nobody else in the 46s.
Dislock Honda Civic Type R is about to move up another place. He's going to get past Callum Tuckett, the 31 BMW Z4. The Z4 is in 5th. Doesn't matter, the Z4 is a Class C car. It's still leading its class. They're doing a great job there.
Did we see the BMW take the lead?
Yeah. Up into Druids.
Oh, that's right.
Kind of come back out, and it looked like the caterer was kind of come back at him.
And the caterer is coming back at him now. A lap later through Druids.
There's no escape.
And trying to tighten the line coming out of Graham Hill Bend, Chris Payne to try and give himself a shot on the inside line going into Surtees, but it didn't quite come off for him. But nor did he come off, so still they're putting the pressure on the BMW of Luke Reed. The Higgins and Honda is having a great battle for 5th place with the Tuckett now number 31 BMW Z4.
He's coming out of Druids, actually. He's not quite managed to do it on the power there. The Z4 powers back down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. And look at the Porsche. The Porsche at the back of that, the right Porsche. There goes the Honda onto the Cooper Straight, surely about to move up past the Z4. Not quite. Yes, he is now. As they get towards the left-hander of Surtees, just sides up the inside there.
That's what, 5 or 6 little hot hatches just turning through Surtees now. Take your pick of Fiestas, Clios.
The important one there is that Ray Honeybone, number 44, has just moved ahead now of the 888 car of Roberts, and that is for Class B position. So up into 6th in Class B goes Honeybone, down to 7th goes Roberts in the 888. Problem for him now is his next target is the right Porsche, and I can't see that being possible.
Right, so Louis gone through leading by 0.8 of a second now, nearly 0.9 from Chris Payne. Does seem as though the BMW is beginning to pull away from the caterer.
Right, we've got a stop-go penalty going out to somebody, but we can't see the number and it's not showing on TSL because for some reason we're still running with the mask message, so we don't get to see the messages, unfortunately. Let me see if we can see it. If I'm online here.
Well, let's hope it's not one of the leading cars. Now in 4th place, driving focusing on to some extent, Matt Nossiter is now only 4 seconds behind the McDougall caterer, and his lap time is about 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds quicker. And Jack Wright, I think, has reached the limit of his ambitions. He's in 5th place. Having gained 2 places on the last time around in the Porsche 944, but he's got 12 seconds to make up before he gains another place. And we have just under 6 minutes remaining.
Looks like there's a couple of cars that have picked up penalties according to TSL, but it doesn't really show me the Oakley 28 and 25 Burnhams.
It could be, if their stop goes, I think the car coming down the pit lane now could be up for a stop go. What is it?
12. Just so we'll know the board has been removed.
Yeah, well that's Johansson and Thompson, which I think is stopped below us at the moment. And the gap first to second continues to go up now. It's over a second, 1.1 seconds. Back into the race goes, which was at number 12, I think you said. And the other, we've also got penalties for 28.
Yeah, they're the two that I saw, but it's not really showing me anything for those.
And we have just under 5 minutes remaining. And I think Luke Reed is now, I don't know about that though, because the caterer's quick through the Druids Graham Hill Bend part of the circuit. And he certainly closed that gap down against a good deal less than a second as they turn through Surtees onto the Grand Prix section for the 22nd time. And Luke Reed has just done his personal best lap, 1:45.041. The fastest lap is still in the hands of Callum McDougall from earlier in the race, lap 6 in fact, as early as that, 1:43.420. Ray Honeybone and Alf Hyde have both moved up ahead of the Higginson's Honda and the Tuckett BMW number 31, which has fallen away to 9th place now. As Jack Wright moves up. only 2.9 seconds down behind GP TDC. He's putting up a stern resistance to his place being taken before the end. Every touch and go. 3.5 minutes to go. Leaders go through. That gap's less than a 1.1 second this time. It is down to half a second, 0.541 of a second, first to second. But we can't relax for a moment. Up to Druids. Still the BMW ahead of the Caterham. I think the Caterham's too far out for a moment. Chris Payne thought, perhaps I'll have a look at the inside line going into Druids, but decided he was too far back to really make it. Well, down Graham Hill into Graham Hill Bend. Still BMW from Caterham. The Caterham, a lighter car, going to break a bit later, going into Graham Hill Bend. Luke Reed defends the inside going into Surtees. That could compromise his line for the exit of that long left-hander. Last time around, Luke Reed did his best lap of the race. Not the fastest lap, but his personal best lap. Lost it at 1.4 seconds it's come down to, and the gap to Jack Wright's gone up actually from 11 points to 12.2. Alfide, Ray Honeybone, and in 8th place we've got number 157, which is Nick White. In 9th place the Higginson's Honda, number 83, and 10th number 888 Chris House Roberts. There's the BMW, there's the Caterham, 1 minute and 45 seconds on the clock is almost exactly a lap time. So it's going to be touch and go whether this is the last lap. But they're lapping at the moment in the 144s, 145s, and there was I think there was 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock. But I have a feeling this will be treated as the last lap. Maybe because they want to keep the program on schedule. And the gap was 1.060. A second. It looks like less than that as they go along Cooper Straight.
And you've got 3rd and 4th here right together now as well.
Yes, so Lossiter has been creeping up on McDougall. He's almost there. He's half a second to gain. So we've got a Caterham leading a BMW and a BMW leading a Caterham.
Yeah.
Lead. I don't know what that tells you anything, but that is the situation we have here.
It's just lovely symmetry, that's what
It's symmetrical, that's absolutely right. That's a good word, yes.
The number 68, the Wright's Porsche, suddenly slowed down that last lap, which means that Hyde and Honeybone are now closing in on that, and that is a Class B fight. 4th, 5th and 6th respectively in that Class B fight.
Right, we've got 26 seconds. Will this be the last lap? The tension is tangible.
They've certainly got the flag at the ready, but I suppose they'd have to now, wouldn't they?
Well, here they come, with the BMW just in front, Luke Reed just ahead of Chris Payne as they come up to the line. Is the flag going to be waved?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And there was... well, I think the last second expired just as the BMW was over the line.
It's perfect.
So, almost ideal. So the win goes to Luke Reed from Chris Payne by 0.732 of a second of the flag. What about the next two? Waiting for the Jim McDougall Caterham and the number 170 Team Trickle BMW. Coming up to the line now is Caterham just ahead of BMW, so the situation reversed from what it was. Oh, they're almost level as they cross the line. It's just the Caterham that gets across the line in 3rd place. That was marginal, 0.044 of a second, so just 44 thousandths of a second separated the 3rd and 4th place cars, with the Caterham just holding off the BMW.
And the Wright's Porsche, number 68, did enough on that last lap. Looks like it found the time back again, in all honesty. Yeah, it did. Suddenly 2 seconds quicker. There goes 172. Hyde then takes 6th place. And Ray Honeybone just behind him, couldn't nibble away anymore. 157 White is then the white, blue and orange Clio that was just behind them. So that whole gaggle was actually fairly close, wasn't it? 83 Higginsons, you can see there in the red Honda Civic Type R, and just behind them the 888 car, the Honda Integra of Roberts.
It's always good when a long race, a longish race, 45-minute race, ends up with tight finishes. But we have to close finish for first and third places, involving a symmetrical pairing of cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
With BMW beating Caterham for the win, and Caterham beating a BMW for third place.
It's all fair. Everyone gets a piece of pie.
Well, I don't know if you were a Clio owner